Alright, this is the beginning of a little bit restoration on this Nissan Altima. Looks like 2003, 2004. My neighbor bought this car from her neighbor. And as you can see, it already looks like it needs a valve cover gasket. The alternator's been changed at one point, but it's got oxidation on it. All this powdery stuff will come off with a good pressure wash, maybe some aluminum cleaner. Okay. Starter's already been replaced at one point. You can see how long it's been neglected. It's got a lot of rust. The throttle body. This is a drive-by wire, and it could use a lot of cleaning. This is all in factory spec, so it still has the butterflies, and these engines, they have a tendency to lose the screws on the butterflies for the intake plenum. This has got two sets of runners. That's the vacuum actuator for the butterflies, so I'll look into that. We'll give this a degrease and pressure wash, just so that I can see where all the oil is coming from. We can take care of that. Hopefully it's not leaking from the timing chain cover, because that is not a fun job on these cars. See where it's got oil and stuff. Could be shooting oil from here. Hopefully the valve cover spark plug hole seals are not leaking, and this is an aftermarket valve cover because it doesn't have Nissan stamped on it. So hopefully it's in better shape than not. You can see how bad this is. It's in really bad shape. It's been in some kind of an accident before, whatever, fender bender, but I'm gonna take care of that, and I'm gonna raise this bumper, clear that, or close that gap actually. I'm gonna sand this with the DA, get all this crap off of here, finish it off with some 1500 wet sand, and buff it all out. I'm gonna get some air in these tires. Possibly just give this a good, whatever you want to call it, a good scuffing with the stainless steel wheel on the 90 degree. Get all this loose oxidation off and prime it, and hit it with some Rust-Oleum gloss black. Same kind of paint you would use on a barbecue grill, because it's weather resistant and it's impervious to oil and heat. Would be perfect for that. This car is going to need a paint job everywhere, that's for sure. That's for sure. The inside of this is really bad, and it smells like moldy water, and it's been getting water somewhere, somehow, some way. I can smell it. Okay, and you can see the humidity in the car. It's gotten rust on this metal over here too. But I'm gonna gut this interior. I'm gonna strip it out. I'm gonna rip this carpet off and degrease and pressure wash it and let the sun dry it. So I got to do this first thing tomorrow morning, so it has time to dry. Just to get the smell out of here. Got to clean all this out. Got to get all this crap out of here and clean it and scrub it, so I can run water and I can see where my water is coming in from. I pulled out a bunch of rusted bolts from here. You can see rust here, so there could have been water sitting at the bottom here. Okay, so all in the makes. It's all in the makes. We're gonna take all this off, pressure wash all of this stuff, and let it dry out in the sun. And vacuum all this crap off, hit it with the air blower, scrub it all out. She has another vehicle just like this one, and it's green, but it's just as bad. It's just as bad as the shape, just as bad. But I think this one has a little bit more potential than the other one, because the other one has a lot of mismatched parts on it that don't go. And even though this one is kind of in bad shape, it's not it's got potential. From my point of view, it's got potential. Even though it's filthy, it's intact. You know, not completely intact, but it's intact compared to the other vehicles she's got. So this is what I found. This is one of the pieces of metal I found inside the quarter panel in the back of the trunk. And this didn't get this bad on its own. You know, things can tend to get like this. You know, that this can happen to a regular car that's already 20 years old without, you know, it having to be getting water inside. But this is obvious. This is obvious water, so I'm leaving it there so I can show her. So this is gonna need an overall paint job. It's probably gonna be the most expensive part. I'll try to work with them, you know. These door handles, I'll probably just paint them red when I paint the car. It'll be more practical. They go red anyway. I don't think they go black as it is. Ugh, all this. Pressure washing degrees, all this. Scrub it all out. Clean it so that I can actually sand it and paint inside it when I spray this. This is another sign of water. It's got mildew. It's got a little bit of mildew on it and it's damp. That's probably oil, but this is water. This area here is water. And it smells. It smells like dry, humid water type of smell, you know? Like it rains, it gets wet, and then it's in the sun, baking in the sun with no sun visor or anything like that, and the car, like the window's been rolled up and it hasn't been opened like for 2 years or something. It's been sitting. So when I opened these doors for the first time, they were basically, it was like peeling off a Band-Aid. It's like, oh man, look at this. Oh, it's like paint splattered everywhere. A lot of work. This is so bad, it might be cheaper and more cost effective and time effective to just buy a aftermarket replacement hood that I can just sand and paint, because I could sand an aftermarket hood that comes like in satin black. It's like semi-matte black, to just sand that inside and out and spray it inside and out. I can sand this probably with like 3 sheets of sandpaper and like 2 scuff pads and just paint it, versus wasting about half a box of sandpaper between 180, 320, 400, 2K primer, okay, and then more 400 to sand it all down, and then to paint it. No. And not only that, to spray this color, which is a metallic red. If you had 2 identical hoods and you had a black hood and then you had a gray hood, it's like a medium shade of gray, and you were going to paint them both the same base coat, clear coat, the same red, the gray one is going to consume more coats of paint before the black one does, because this color, you're supposed to have a black base coat before you shoot this color, and it will consume less paint and it will cover sooner, versus if it was gray under direct sunlight, that sunlight's going to go right through that red and you're going to see gray. But with black is a darker color, and black doesn't reflect in the sunlight like gray does, so you wouldn't even notice. If this did have some bleed through, you wouldn't even notice it. You wouldn't even notice it. You could probably cover this car if this car was black, or any panel per se. If it was black, red will completely cover black in 3 coats. 3 medium coats, no tack coat, just 3 medium coats it'll cover. But if it would have been gray, probably like 6, like twice as much. Oh, the headliner's good. That's a plus. I could probably just scrub it where it is with the microfiber and some soap and water. I'm not gonna take the airflow to it. I don't want to put lines in it. Even though this is more like, it's not like denim. I don't know what kind of material this is. but it's not likely to get marks in it from the air blower unless you get close. But I'll be careful with it. I just really want to get the smell out of this car. I want for her to get this car back and for it to not stink. You know, she gets this car back and it smells at least like a certified pre-owned car. You know, she won't hesitate to put the rest of the money to get a paint job, you know. Because as far as the engine work, it's got to get done. We got to do the engine work because the car has to be reliable, that's a given. So, yeah, man. For sure. I'm going to cut it right here. Look at that. That's bad. I hope this isn't getting all kinds of water everywhere. I hope this is just because of, I don't know, maybe just humidity in the vehicle from just being closed for so long. And this was also parked over the grass, and whether it rains or not, grass does let off steam because grass has moisture, it has water in it because it's a living plant basically, right? So all that rises up and it's not going to go around the vehicle and go up, it wants to go through it. So all that penetrated through the floorboard and came up, and it had to pass the carpet and come up, and usually it gets trapped inside, you know. So that's probably part of it, because these vehicles, I know these vehicles very well. I know how a lot of vehicles are, and these vehicles don't get water inside the cabin. They don't do that. If anything, they'll get water in the trunk through this seam here, through where the bolts go, where it locks the headlight down. Or sometimes, like this seam right here that has panel bond, sometimes this panel bond dries out and the water gets in between there. And sometimes behind the glass, but usually when that happens, these are a recall. That'll usually happen in the earlier years of production. So, I know these cars well enough. Because all these bolts are like that. These bolts back here were like that. These have it too. Okay, so there's no way this is leaking water from here on both sides, because there's nothing wrong with this weather strip. And there's no stains. There's no, is there? Well, it stains, but it's not from water running down. There's no stains here, so. All right, woof, this stinks. Let's cut it here so I can get to work, and I'll put updates as I get along with it. All right. She's bad. This one needs work. This one needs work.